always a little behind, so. All right, I know I'm live, but I'm having a little bit of crazy issues because once I start to reboot, I am on a Wi-Fi only, so I end up getting a little bit off kilter. So let me try to get it together here. And well, we're going to be working on the break for starters. We're going to be working on the warm-up strokes. All of these very important preparations for each shot. So let's get it together. I'm not going to be able to open up the chat or any of that nature, so basically it's not really going to be a question and answering thing here. It's going to be just paying attention to the techniques here that are going to be used, especially on the warm-up strokes and the follow-through, as well as the break technique and the positioning of where the cue ball is. All right. Now what I'm doing is I'm pretty straight on this, playing that second ball in the side pocket and trying to hold that cue in the middle. In order to do that, I can't hit it too hard. I have to be under control here. So I got a really tight grip on the back here. That's really big for me here. And you can hear that big hit. See that second ball go right in the side? And see where the cue ball is? That's excellent technique. And that's not overhitting it. That's just using good technique and smart breaking. Let's see if we can Marseille this billiard shot here. Not today, not like that. All right. Just put it in now and play the shape for that one ball in that corner, just like that. Although it came up too much, so now I'm forced to play this combination. Combinations are very, very important to make and be able to aim these up and play them nicely. See how nice this looks? Nice handle to it. Again, here's another combination. Drive it into it. Beautiful. Excellent. I'm going to bank this, although you wouldn't play this shot. And the reason why is because the defensive is much easier. Although I probably, it's a tough decision. If you're playing for your life, you wouldn't bet your life you could bank it. Although the safety's no guarantee either. So you might be better off playing the bank here because the safety doesn't work anyhow. It's not that it doesn't work, it's that the bank is easier than the safety. Although I missed it and now I'm going to lose. Here's the Marseille. Now it's completely snookered on this side. I can Marseille on either side of this, and the reason why is because I have so much room to work with. Is there any way I can open up my page? No? Okay. I got this area to work with, and I got this area to work with. I can Marseille it either way. I'll go this way. Okay. Even though I hit it, I didn't hit it like I wanted. Now I can play this one or two rails. The two railer for me is almost easier than the one railer. Although it shouldn't be because I do have enough room here. But when I come off this second rail, it really comes charging into this two ball. And that's what I like about it. Just like that. Although I left the shot. Now the warm-up strokes. Here we are here. Beautifully done there. See that? That's going to give me the good handle. Not overstroking these. Again, just going to push that in. We're just going to drive the 8 down. Just drop the 7 in. Now here you got an angle to run it, so we're going to run it 3 rails by getting out to the ball. Understanding you're going 3 rails. Beautiful read. Good warm-up strokes here, out to the ball, and just put it into a nice roll. When I say roll, that means grabbing. That means it's grabbing onto the cloth. That's what rolling is all about. So that when it hits the facing, it grabs it and drops it in. And under heavy pressure, that's the technique you're going to need to know. What gets you through the pressure will be the technique. Simple as that. And you've got to rely on your technique to do it. This is technically done. See this? That's a bomb. Uh-oh. A good break. I'm in good shape here. Should be a good run out. There's a couple of problems here, but I'll be able to finesse around, I hope. So let's see. Out to the ball, out to the ball. Nice little backspin. Now that didn't go too well. I'm still okay, so I can duck. Or I can come around for this 3-ball, which is what I'll do. All right. Bank it. Again, I can bank this one too, using a little bit of reverse, kind of dragging through it. Just like that. Drop this cue ball a little lower than I wanted, but it's not too bad. This is why. It enables me to get on this 6-ball naturally. Here we want to drive this in, so good warm-up strokes. Nice. Had a nice roll to it. Here we stroke this in. This isn't an aiming situation. This is a stroker. Beautifully done. Again, we're going to do the same here and stroke this in. Beautiful. You can see the ball grabbing onto the cloth, fighting every bit of it now. Again, we're going to drive this in. Beautiful. We want to be off the rail, but if you're on the rail, deal with it. Been playing long enough, shouldn't matter. So it looks like we got the break technique pretty good area to work. We're pretty straight on it. We're pretty tight back here. We're off the bottom rail using our legs. Again, that's not a bad break. It sounded okay for me. Although the aim was way off. All right, safety, here we go. Pretty much just want to push it up around the 7. Use the 2, 10, and 7 as your blockers. So basically that's the speed here. That's perfect. Very nice. A little higher up than I would have liked because now I left a little room. But when you're on the rail, that takes handle away from your opponent. That's almost better to have it here than have it somewhere where he could draw or manipulate the cue ball better. From here, there's not that much to manipulate. I've got a completely black screen. I don't know why, but I got a black screen. I wonder if everybody else has a black screen. I doubt it, but it's possible. But I'm completely blacked out. I don't know why, but... Alright, here we go. Now the safety here, I'm going to use the 9 and the 5 as a good blocker, so that's the ball speed. Again, we're just going to carry it over to this rail, just like this. The 9 and the 5, excellent. And again, I'm on the rail, and that's a good spot to be. Of course, this is a jump shot, most likely, but we'll kick at it. Oh, baby. Alright. Let's see what the run is and all the bridge techniques and the warm-up strokes and all of that. The only issue is probably the 4 ball, so I'm looking to probably bank the 4 cross side. And that should just about end this wrap. So let's play our shape and go through the run out. Again, we're just naturally riding our position. Beautiful. I'm going to just push this 10 out of the way again. Nice. Now the 4 ball, we're trying to bank it anyhow, but this time I'm going to play the 3 cross side and play into the 4. It's pretty good shape here. Nope. Okay, can't be doing that. If you're going to play that shot, you certainly have to make that bank. Alright, let me, I got the picture up now, so now I can do some adjustments. Let me move the focus so see more of the pool. There you go. You should be able to see the ball go in better now, so we'll go with that. Music's a little loud, I know, but see what we got. Just gonna bank this cross side. Now I can go cross corner with this and come short. By doing it cross corner, it allows me the opportunity to leave a lot tougher leave if I bank across corner. So that's what I'm going to do, because that's the better handle here. Good warm-up strokes. Okay, even though I miss it, you can see I did leave a shot, but look at the position and look at the opportunity that I had I hit it a little bit shorter and then missing it off of this rail. I missed it off this rail, but it didn't hit it hard enough. My ball speed was a little bit off. Here again, good technique, no English here. Just hold that thin line if you can. Okay, not too good there. Here again, we're just going to get out to the ball, drive it in. Beautiful. Here we go up and down with this 5 ball, so we're going to use nice reverse English. This is going to come out pretty. Very nice. Going to drive this 5 ball in, out to the ball warm-ups. Nice. See this? And then drive it in. Not going to drive nothing in. Not today, folks. Let's kick it in and get position. Boom. Nice, okay. Drive out to the ball with your warm-up strokes here. Out to the ball, out to the ball, out to the ball. Long follow through, beautiful. Do that technically. Don't look to aim that, stroke it in. Here we go again. Very nice. Now I'm going to get a little straight here, and I don't care because I can manipulate from here. Little rail first action. Looks pretty good to me. Let's see. Not today. I should have drew that. Let's take a look at that with the draw. Being straight on with this, of course we don't want to ever be straight on in these situations. But when the ball's this close to the rail like there, it's an opportunity to go rail first and withdraw. And that way you don't risk a scratch. All right, let's manipulate this back and forth with your little outside English. Beautiful, gorgeous. That's the way that ball has to look going to that pocket. Very nice. You see a lot of players, they get a difficult shot and they approach that shot as if, well, I got to hit it right. They're not thinking technically. And when you're not thinking technically, you're going to probably miss the shot. You got to rely on your technique, because aiming system to me is too restrictive. I'm pretty straight on here. Tighten the backhand, beautiful. That's the break right there. That's a winner right there. You can see the nice cue ball handle and the easy pattern to work with. That was a big break. Cue ball's in a great spot. Okay, tough miss, but again, nice handle. That's done with the technique. Beautifully done there again. You can see me getting through this rack with just good technique. Holding these nice angles. I don't have to do nothing here. This is just push to your spot. You're going to fall into shape all the way. Again, we're going to ride it, fall right into position here. Excellent. Here I can go for the 7 ball in this corner, because it naturally comes back this way. See this? And that's okay. I got a wide open pocket. Just throw it in. Okay, good try. Again, we're going to fall nice for this 9. Then we fall nice for the 10. And then the rack is over. Again, the technique here is out to the ball, out to the ball. Perfect. That's the technique. On these warm-up strokes, out to the ball, out to the ball. Boom! Beautifully done. Again, same here. But here you just want to get a nice soft roll and just make sure you don't miss that aim. You don't really need to do much of anything there, but make sure you can keep straight. Beauty. That's a bomb right there. That is a bomber. Now, good technique here, and the rack's over. Out to the ball here, no. You want to just roll it straight, just like this. Now, this table, that's a tough, tough ball to drop in. But that wasn't too bad. As you can see, I'm in pretty good shape here to get out. Let's see what happens here. Very nice. Here, we're just going to hit thick. That way you'll get a little bit more height in English. Here we're going to drop behind the 7 here, not try to do too much, just like this. Here we're just going to drop it in. Again, out to the ball, put it into a roll. Here again, we're going to stroke it in, not aim it in. Very nice. A lot of bite to that. Again, that just shows you how tight the pocket is. Can't be lazy or anything. I could have had 4 1/4. I could have had 4 inches, but let me tell you. If I was in Vegas or in a dry area, maybe it wouldn't matter, you know. Or an air-conditioned place, something like that. But this is plenty tight. Here we go. Again, want to be hard on holding this backhand pretty firm, using your legs. Boom, a bomb, a beauty again. That's a big break. The technique isn't too bad. It's handled, it's easy to handle. Let's play safe here, get under the 8. Very nice. Let's kick 2 rails, going this way. Just like this. I left the shot this time. Just get by the side here, that's the technique, out to the ball. Very nice. Now the rack's over. Once I get a hold of the cue ball, now it's all technique the rest of the way. Smart warm-up strokes. So you got the good handle. That's coming from the good warm-up strokes. Now I came a little longer than I want, but I'm on the right side to work with. Just drive it in the side. Uh-oh. Way too much English and not good aim. But still, I'm in good angle to make this. Let's see how we do on this combination. Okay. Followed up nicely for a safety. Even if I made it, I'm safe. All right, let's see the hit here. Can I come this way? It looks like I can. And just skin that 5 ball. See that? Coming off that 3rd rail, right there. Here, you'd want to cut this ball in. Just slow roll it. Nice, nice, nice. Not on this table. That ball ain't going to go on this table. Not a chance in the world. But okay, forget that. Let's go rail first, and we're going to hit this 5 ball thick. That's what's going to get me past the 9. See this? I'm just going to bank this just for the fun of it. Not too good. Should have did a better job there. Again, we're going to push out to this ball. Good technique. Nice. You can see that beautiful roll the cue ball had. That's nice bridge work. Let's do the same here. Just pop it in. Nice. Very nice technique. Again, we're going to run off this 2nd rail, and she's going to race out. Out to the ball. And beautiful. Very nice. Here we can draw it up a little bit. So let's do that. Okay, not great, but of course that works. All right. Looks like it's a good rack. Technique again, we're going to get pretty close to the middle. We're going to be tight in the backhand. We're going to use our upper part of our legs. We're going to stand up a little high, and boom! There's that second ball running into the side. There's your position for the one, and that you can win the tournament when you're in control like this. Very nice shape, and easy run out. The 4 balls you only issue. I should be out no problem. Let's see how we do. Okay, now I wanted to get inside here. That was my intention, but I really blew it. So now I got to cut the 4 ball in this corner, or maybe look for a kiss and play the 9 ball in the side. That's an option here. But if I do want to play this billiard, I really got to get the shape for it. And if I'm going to play that 4 in the corner, I want the position for that as well. The problem with the 4 in the corner is the 6 is in my way. So it's concerning. Where the 9 in the side on a billiard is the easiest position for me. Yet it's not that easy of a shot. So I'm going to go to the corner with it, with the 4 ball. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to 2-rail it out in this direction. If I go up and down this way, I run away from my position. By playing the 2-railer, I run into shape. So let's see what it looks like. Beautifully done. Excellent selection. Now I just pop it in and the rack's over. That's dissecting it systematically. Out to the ball and turn that ball over so that it's grabbing the cloth, just like that. Now here we're a little bit off, so we're going to play that 9 in the side now. The one that we were going to billiard off of earlier, we're just going to drop it in now. And that leads to automatic out. Okay, again, we're almost straight on. We're tight in the back. We're using this part of our leg, so we're standing up pretty high. And there's your break. That's a beauty right there. Look at the position coming out of there. If I pop a ball in, this rack's over quickly. Here we're going to go back and forth. That's it. 1, 2. Beautifully done. We don't want to be on the rail, but if we are, it's okay. We've been there a million times. Now, I'm going to play into the 6 ball here. Just like this. That opens the 5 up, and it shapes me for the 4. And gives me a perfect angle for the 5 to the 6 to the 7 to the 8 to the 9 to the 10. This rack's over. Bring it up so you don't have to stretch. Drive that in. Get a little angle here to get to that 8 ball. We lost a lot here, so I'm going to go up and down with it. Horrible shot there. Here, we're going to drop it in the side. Inside English. Hold that angle. Here, I'm going to play position off the 9 ball, off the 10 ball. Now, it's going to come a lot, and I might end up over here. So that's the speed that I want to use. See that? You can't overhit that if you want to carry that angle. Again, we stroke the shots in. We don't aim at them. Here. Very important to refine your technique. Understand your warm-up strokes. They're not the same. They're different on every shot. Every shot requires a different touch, different subtle changes in your bridge work. Everything is different on every shot, and you're going to take it accordingly. Just like you're looking at a new blueprint. Every single blueprint is different. It might be similar in looks and everything, but there's subtle little changes that you need to adjust to. And that's what you do on every shot, whether it be the bridge work, the warm-up strokes, all of that stuff's related to the final execution. Oh boy, that's a good break, but can't lose the cue ball like that. But it happens on the break. That's from overhitting it. Alright, let's get our natural position. What's going to be natural for shape here? And it looks like we got to get down into this between the 10 and the 8. So I'm going to play in between the 10 and the 5. And use this angle just like this. And just carry it down just like this. See this? Perfect. Again, technique is out to the ball, put it into a nice soft roll. Again, we're going to leave a nice little angle here to get to that 5 ball. That's perfect. Here, we don't aim it, we stroke it in. Very nice, carry that angle out. We lost a little bit here, so we have to do some adjusting. I can roll it in and drive it 2 rails, drive it into this rail, which is what I'm going to do. Just like this. That's going to make this 6 ball a hanger, and the 7's automatic. Uh-oh, uh-oh. No way that's going. You can't hit these balls. You can't hit a rail in this table and expect the ball to go in, because it ain't gonna. Especially when it's wet like it is. So, again, this is what you use your technique for. That's what can override the condition. I'm going to just draw it back. No, I ain't either. Huh. Again, the technique, you can play it a couple of different ways. I'm going to go this way with it, because to me, the open pocket makes this easier. See this? And handling the cue is no problem. We're just going to ride it down. That position right there is okay, because here you shouldn't miss this. And you got to make sure you get that kind of a shot. You could see that was a pretty artistic out, and you would say, well, why did he play that in that corner? Well, it was open pocket. I didn't have to force it. Playing against the grain over here, you have to be a lot more accurate. Let's see if we can get this break down a little bit, because we're struggling a little bit. Last break wasn't too good. See, that was a good break. Believe it or not, because I got nice cue ball handle, and I would have been all right, but wasn't too bad Pinball's not an easy break, especially if you're on a tough condition. That's not too fast either. Let's go for this kick. Two railing it, two rails. One. Uh-oh, look at this. Nope. Left an easy shot. Now the 3/9's tied up, so we look to break that up. I'm just going to come short on the 2 ball here. Leave this angle to get to this 3 now, right? Just, that's perfect. Should be no problem here. Huh, it wasn't. Just going to bank it. Okay. Here we're going to have to cut it in, and we don't have to cut it in. Of course, we could play safe. That's the logical thing to do, and then you break open the 3 with the cue ball. Just like this. Of course, I'm too fat. I'm just going to kick at this 2 ball. Try to make it, actually. I'll cut it in. Not today, I won't. Not even near it. Alright, we'll just cut it in now. And try to break them, too. Just like this. Look at this, it's going to hit it just enough so I can make it. That's a fabulous hit right there. Should be out now. Out to the ball. No way. Yes, I had a good roll to it, so it took. It grabbed and didn't fall off. Here we go. Now the 7's the only issue, and what I can do here is I can come and kick at this 7/9 right now. So I'm going to do exactly that. Way off, that's going to cost me. Now again, I can play the 6 ball in the corner and drive right in between the 7 and the 9. So the good technique here is out to the ball, understand your ball speed, alright, that's a tough miss, although I executed a little bit. Here we can slow roll it in, and that way you're going to hold that ball for the 8. See that? It's going to be nice and sit perfect for the 9, because all you got to do is stick this. So we're out to the ball, stick it in, stroke it in, just like that. Let's do the same here. Very nice. And here you shouldn't miss it. So you drive it in. Huh. Table's slowing up. The rain, we have a lot of rain coming, and today's a nasty day for that football game, I'll tell you that. I'm glad I ain't going to that game, because I can watch it at home. Because it's tough outside, and when it's like this, it's hard to play anything. Football, I don't care what you're playing. It's tough to play. I'm going to shut down the music and open up the chat if anybody's interested in asking any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we're just going to continue with systems, formulas, patterns, and technique. Here we go. Perfect. That 8 ball was going. That's okay. Oh, I just got snookered. But a very good break. Look at the good cue ball handle. Look at the layout. The pattern's real easy. I get first opportunity to win. So the safety play here is huge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to thin hit it, go back and forth with the cue ball, just like this. I got behind the 5. Not enough though. I can bank this. But I'm going to play safe behind the 8 ball, and that's gin. Just like this. by not getting behind the 8 ball, I could lose. Yep. That was a terrible defensive play. Execution-wise, if I get here or over here, the 5's good blockage and the 8. So that speed was off quite a bit. Now I should run out. Excellent job there. I wish I'm okay. It's not great, but it's okay. That's going to be a safety. That's not allowed. There's a jump shot here. This isn't that difficult. Uh-oh, it was difficult. I don't like the way I hit that. A little bit sloppy, but okay. Let's see how we get this run now. Now I can come back and play into the 4 ball here. That's my position play. That's what I'm electing to do. Not too good there. Again, the warm-up strokes, they have to be smart, they have to make sense, and they didn't that time. Here, this is excellent. See, I could tell that time because the warm-up stroke made sense, where the other time it didn't. Here, let's do it now. Good warm-ups, good warm-ups. Excellent. That's great stuff right there. Let's just cut this in with the good warm-up strokes. Excellent again. Beautifully done, technically. Again here, good warm-up strokes. Excellent job. Not going to make this one. But again, not bad handle. Oh, man. Easy draw shot. I'm just going to come to the rail, bounce off. Now, I didn't really think too much about position because it's pretty easy to do whatever I want. So I'm just going to spin off this second rail and ride it. Again, keep the rhythm going and just ride this in. Drive it in, actually, and let that ride the cue for natural shape. Again, we're going to drive this in. Use some good technique. Smart warm-up strokes are crucial when the pressure's on, because that's what you're going to go to when the pressure's on. It's going to be, what is your preparation technically? You've got to approach it technically. So that's what we're going to do on every shot here. Now that's loosey-goosey right there. That's causing this not to break as good as I want. So I'll just move this over to here, and this should break pretty good from here. Control the cue ball. Okay, excellent. It's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. Okay, the warm-up strokes. Here we go. Out to the ball, out to the ball. This is excellent. See this? Not too bad. The aim was off, but the cue ball handle is there. Let's do it again. Inside English here. Perfect. Again, this pocket's very tight, but look at the nice shape. Beautifully done. Just going to go rail first here. A thick hit is okay. That's going to slow the speed up. Here we're just going to make sure the 7's not in our way. We're just going to drop down on it, just like this. Here we're going to draw it up a little, because we don't want to have to stretch where we can't reach it. This is perfect. Puts me in great position. I didn't leave much of an angle here. I'm going to pay for that. Now I can spin it and go up and down, but I'm just going to go forward with it. Cut this in the side. It falls perfect for the 8, so it should be okay. If I make the 7 in the side, of course. Let's just play this one 3 rails. 1, 2, 3. Very nice. Again, we'll just go 3 rails. Good practice. Nope. Too thick a hit there. So you probably wouldn't go 3 rails with it. Here we go. Nope. That ball trickled off a little bit. The warm-up strokes weren't too bad there. They were pretty good. Let's bank this. Not today. If you're going to miss it like that, though. Not going to leave. No, I'm going to leave an easy shot. Okay, when the ball's off the rail like this, and you have that much room off the rail, you can spin this in. So by hitting this thicker with a lot of spin is probably the best and easiest to handle. So it looks similar to this. Okay, now we get a little bit of an off angle. We would like to have been over more, but if you're here, use that angle naturally and just come right behind this 10 ball, and this will ride right behind it nicely. Just like this. Again, go to your technique here, out to the ball, put it into a roll, and that's the end of that story. Now this might look simple stuff, but this is all simple if you use the right warm-up strokes, if you don't attack the cue ball. And on the break, the same thing. Don't let your anxiety make that break too aggressive and then lose handle of the cue ball. Right now, I've got good handle of the cue ball, and I'm going to stick with this speed. This speed is perfect for handling the cue ball. See this cue ball? And then there's your second ball on the side, and now I'm out. Excellent, and I didn't have to exert myself too much. Again, good technique here, out to the ball, out to the ball, out to the ball, and drive it in. Don't let that shot play you. Now I get a little bit out of shape here, but with strong stroking, I can get to this 3 ball. Let's see. Oh no, too bad. Can't really play it back. I got a safety. Let's see how we do on the hit. It's a good hit. Okay, now I should be out. The angle's good. Just drop onto the 3, out to the ball, and drive this deuce in. Beautifully done there. That's what it has to look like. And when you hear it drop that heavy, you know I got out to it nicely. There's no way any tight pocket would have held that from going in. All right, we're just going to draw this back. Just like this. That didn't go too good. Again, we're going to manipulate for this 6 ball. Play into the 10. As a guide ball, that's what that 10 is. See this? Good shape, but you got to make that ball. Let's just get behind the 10 a little bit, just like that. Again, that was position. Let's do this for shape. Let's get behind the 10 again. Not too good there. Not too good there. Out of stroke, didn't get out to it. Let's kick this in now. Okay, that's a shot you gotta practice a little more. Really want to make those. Alright, I'm going to spin this in. Again, when the ball's off the rail like that, don't be afraid to thick hit it. Doesn't have to be cut too much, and that'll also cover your speed down too. I'm going to just go with a little inside here, and that's going to get me my shape. Beautifully done. Here, it's just natural. Again, good technique. Perfect. Here, again, we can straight draw it back, out to the ball. Now, when you're drawing, what you want to do is bridge low, aim low. That's what I'm doing here. See this? And that's going to enable you to control this draw a little. This table's soaked right now. It's hard to draw. Stroke this in. Very nice. can see these pockets are pretty tight. You're not going to be making anything right now. You'd think the table would get easier, but as the day goes on, the room gets a little warmer, it gets a little tighter. Those guys that play down in the south, or in places where they don't have air conditioning, I guess, those places, I say, are good practice places. Down south, Florida, to play down there in that humidity, it's got to make the pockets tight. And that's, you know, that's good practice when you go to the U.S. Open especially, but this isn't that kind of a condition. Again, not too hard. Good, that's a good break because I didn't scratch. I held that ball up. That's great stuff there. So that cue ball handle right now is very good. Oh boy, surprised I missed that one, but I don't jump well with this playing cue, but wasn't too bad. Here you play the 3 ball on the billiard. Oh, belly, belly. All right, let's see the draw again. Okay, that's not too bad. Like I said, it's not easy to draw on this table right now. A lot of people would hit that, and that cue ball wouldn't even move, to be honest with you. Here we go. Let's see the perfect shape here. Nice 2 rails. Want to get nice length off of that second rail, and it didn't happen. I ended up again in a situation where, not today, folks. Let's just go up and down with this and put the run out. Drive it in, get that nice high roll, fall into position. Beautifully done there. Get a little angle here. Not exactly too good here, but I'm going to just 1 rail it, just like this. I don't want to be over here, and that's why it didn't look too good. Here we go here. Good technique here, though. Perfect. Beautifully done there. You want to use good bridge work off of those rails. And that's how that shot will look if you can come up with a straight bridge that makes sense with good warm-up strokes. A shot like that's not really a shot you want to stroke into anyhow. You want to push that cue ball to that spot. Similar to being on a putting green or on a tennis court where you're aiming that shot by holding on to the ball. Look at that beauty. That is a good break, believe it or not. The cue ball was good handle. So let's see how we do. Good warm-up strokes here. No, we're going to miss it. Thought I hit it bad right away, and I did. Let's see how we do with this 2 ball. Perfect. I don't know what we got here. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, that wasn't too good. Okay. All right, let's play this 1 on the side. Nice, tough cut shot with a lot of spin here. Just like this. Gives me nice shape for that 3. Now I can go back and forth with this and get behind the 4 ball. And that's the shot. See this here? Just like this. That's what you want to do in that situation. That's experience right there. See? You don't want to mess with an experienced player, because they've been there many, many times. Beautiful shot there. Oh, what do we got here? Here's a tough kick shot. When I'm kicking these, I'm always looking to get behind it. Something similar to this. Just like this. Didn't end up too good. Let's see how we warm up stroke this. Beautiful technique here. You can see there's no way I'm going to miss because the technique's right. I'm straight. Again, ride that shot, don't force it. You can see here's a difficult shot, but not technically. Technically, it's out to the ball, put it into a roll, and it's history. Let's three-rail this around. Now that's going to come too far, but still pretty good. Out to the ball, and drive it in. Beautiful. That's letting your stroke out is really important because you don't want to get too tight. And sometimes you can get tight if you start not letting your stroke out. But if you are getting out to the ball and you're driving balls into the pocket, you're always letting your stroke out. And that's why a shot like that, you get into a comfort zone driving it in with a little more speed than normal. There's the break. That's perfect. That's the perfect break. Now, if you're playing me 10 ball and I'm executing that shot just like that, look at my cue ball, very high percentage, my 1 ball hanger, this rack's over. I won't have to do nothing either. See that? Gorgeous. Sorry about that 10 ball. As you can see, that little sloppy there because all ball fouls. Now here in a case like this, you don't want to risk getting safety. So what you do is drive between the 10 and the 7 here, just like this. Perfect. Give yourself a shot and the rack's over. You got to make these balls. This isn't the problem if this is what you do for a living. That won't go. See it come back out? That's because this table is for a training table. And if you don't drive balls in, they're not going. That ball's in on 99 out of 100 tables, but not here. Here, very thin, gives you a lot of rail, and use that rail speed as the angle calculation. Again, good bridge work, no problem. So don't be afraid to play off the rail. What is important is knowing how to play off the rail. Be confident enough to sit on that rail and use the proper bridge work and stance to execute that shot as if you're not even on the rail. Especially when you don't have to play position. If you got to play position, that's different. You'll be hampered. But not if you're only playing 1 ball. Again, perfect break. You could see the nice out for the 1 ball. Although I didn't make a ball, it's still a good break. I'll just bank it in. Uh-oh, I double kissed it. I wanted to reverse it, but I wanted to get position also. And that's why I hit it like that. All right, what do we got here? I'm just going to play safe. Why? Because I need to practice this kind of a shot. See this? That's a beauty. And I've got to be able to do that. All right, I'm going to kick this 2 rails underneath it and try to get back in this area. Let's see how we do. Nope. Nothing like that. All right. Again, we got to play safe, so let's see what it looks like. These are crucial to execute. Very easy safety, though. I might have even blown it. No, I'm going to 2 rail it now. Again, easy shot for me. Be nice if I got behind the 6 there. All right, now the run's all there. We're just going to float this in and play right into the 9 ball. That's going to kill the cue ball speed, just like this. Oops, I forgot to make the 1. It's okay. I need that 2 to hang. Perfect. Now I'm going to hit this thick middle ball, just like that. That's okay right there, actually. Just going to drive this in. I'm just going to soft roll it in. Nope. Okay, there was no, the warm-up strokes weren't there on that shot. And that's what made that shot difficult. See this? That's good warm-up strokes. That makes sense. Uh-oh, I'm a little bit snookered here. So let's move it out of the way. And again, use the good technique. This is it here. Not too good there. The aim was off. Shouldn't have pulled the trigger till I was ready. Let's see what we got here. Not today, folks. Way too overhit. Once you overhit it, you lose your control. That's what happened there. Can't use that speed. Perfect. Here, we're just going to roll it out. Nice. That's what it has to look like, too. Perfect. See how nice that's going to sit? The rack's over now. Okay, we're off angle here, but we're going to ride it 2 rails out. That's going to put us nice for the 8 and 9. So it looks just like this. Here, I'm just going to go back and forth with it. And as you can see, I can come 3 rails around with it, or I can play it short this way and have a tough shot. I'm going to go short with it, just like this. It's going to leave me a difficult shot. But if I roll it, and I could stop it there and then bank the 10. Good technique here. Perfect. That's the technique there. Now the bank shot, because it's a little reverse here. Perfect. And that's how you get out from there technically. Nice. Again, it's a good break. It's still okay. You can see the rack, how far it moved from here. All of it is over here because of the heavy hit. All right, now I can cut this in because it's far off the rail and then play into the 6 ball here. See this? And that would give me my position for this shot here. But anyhow, let's play this. I'm going to play this 3-6 combination. Perfect warm-up strokes right there. That's what I'm talking about. Again, use the good warm-up strokes here. Drive this 6 ball in. Oh, that pocket's so tough. I was thinking about that too. Okay, I'm just going to soft roll this, driving it in, but with good roll to it. Beautifully done. We're going to drive this in with either follow or stop. Either one doesn't matter. That's the problem with not letting your stroke out, is right there. Alright, we got the 7 up the corner. Let's use that and the angle to get to the 8. We're going to stroke this in, no problem. Drive it in. Beautiful. And you can see the perfect timing, and that's what made that cue sit right there. Perfect shot here. Now I'm going to soft roll this 9 down just for my practice. Driving it in. Nice. I want to do the same here. So there's several different techniques you can use. Whichever you're more comfortable with is the best one to manage your game with. It depends on what your style is and your mood, because this is art. There's no real definition to any of these racks. They're all different in their own little way. Alright, that's a good break though. Get in 4. It's not too bad. I mean, the rack might have been a little soft, but the break was good. The cue's in a great spot. And this kind of percentages is an easy run out again. Good technique. Perfect. Just soft roll this for the nice shape. Little drop. Not too much. Here again, the belly is important to get out of the way, but let's see how we do. It's not too bad. I'm going to play for that 6 in the side. Here, nice touch. Oh. Here, we're just going to drop it in. Technique. I can follow this, so I will. This is a pretty shot. Nice. You can see me came out beautiful. Again, good technique here. I might draw it back a little. Perfect. Again, we're going to draw it. No, we ain't either. We are going to bank it though. How about it? Alright, we're going to run the English, hitting it very thin. Very important there. Excellent. Just going to go up and down with this. You can go with a little inside, but I'm going to go with outside. I might end up with the 4 on the side, just like this. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Either way, I had a million pockets to go. That's why I went that way. Now the rack's over. Now I'm going to get behind the 6 here, just like this. Just like that. Not too good. I got a little off there. That's not going to go. I'm going to get a safety out of it. Unless I can cut the 9 in. No? Okay. Still out of shape. If I was in shape, a lot of these shots that I'm missing, I wouldn't be missing, but so far out of shape, it's hard to execute. Again, you don't want to see the ball spinning like this. That's telling you the timing was off. All right. I guess I'll call it a day. Okay. Of course, we're an hour earlier today than we normally would be, which is nice. All right, now what do we got? We got this December event in the Philippines that is just amazing. $50,000 added, and on the singles, and then there's $100,000 added on the doubles. Now, mind you, it's expensive to go to the Philippines, but I think it's worth going in this event, especially if you got somebody that you've been practicing with, and you could use as a partner. Santos was playing John Schmidt, it's really funny. These guys thinking they can play the Filipinos. Mr. 400 gets up against Santos and betting $1,000. I don't know who's backing him, but you don't want to get in the box playing a Filipino for money, and especially a veteran like Santos, because he will take you apart. And they are used to playing for that kind of money, and I'm sure, I don't know who won, but I wouldn't want to be betting on John Schmidt in that match, that's for sure. And they were playing probably one pocket, supposedly, which Santos doesn't play, but it doesn't matter, because when you're playing one pocket, it's really about controlling the cue ball. And the Filipinos are going to be the best in one pocket, and they don't have to play the game all that often to compete against, especially the American players who aren't really bred to play for a living pool. And the Filipinos are bred that way. It's really funny when I see these Americans who actually believe that they could play better than the Filipino players, or that they don't admire their incredible artistic approach to pool. It's really difficult to play at that level when you have the kind of experience and the dedication and passion that they do in the Philippines for pool. In the United States, I can't name really a single player who would be a good representative for American pool, in the sense that they have this steady income, not have to win the money in a tournament. And I think there's a big difference between somebody that you have to win the money in a tournament against, you know, having a guaranteed salary. What is a little weird is when I hear people say, you know, Bustamante, why don't you come and play in a local event? And I'm thinking to myself, you know, here's a guy that's got a wife and children at home, and he's on the road living under somebody else's roof and being completely out of sync with the family when you're over here, many miles and away. If needed, you're certainly not going to be available to the family. And I think about, you know, him having to play and getting backed as well, and having to pay back his backer, and it's just like, you know, and he's doing it on American soil, which is because it's easy money here for him. Where in the Philippines, he wouldn't be able to beat a lot of the young players over there, but over here, it's easy pickings. I mean, you got guys like John Schmidt are considered top players on the Mosconi Cup team. I'm not saying John Schmidt's not hadn't won the U.S. Open, but he got, you know, I mean, he won the U.S. Open, and he's a high ball runner in straight pool, but he's not somebody that makes a living playing pool. It has any, you know, if he went to the Philippines and tried to make a living playing pool, I mean, he would not be able to. And certainly nobody can make a living here in the States. And of course, if he went over to Japan or to Asia against those trained players, you know, he's not even competitive. So you have to scratch your head about this whole Mosconi Cup team. Anyhow, it's absurd. 5 out of the 6 players actually could easily be replaced by better players with more experience, and the coaching, it makes no sense. I don't get it. They're talking about the future, blah, 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 blah. That's all a bunch of baloney anyhow. But, you know, and then this World Championship women's event that's being played at Steinway, I mean, there's something, you know, you just got to scratch your head and say to yourself, World Championship, ladies, in a pool room with a restaurant and a bar and no possible way of heavy attendance and heavy, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not sure that that's a sanctioned event in any way, but I don't get it. I don't know. There's really no reason to play pool for anybody. I mean, there's just no reason to do it. Not in the United States, anyhow. I mean, how are you going to make a living? You know, and then if you do have to play in a tournament overseas, the cost of going overseas is so high that it's almost, you know, impossible. But, you know, that's, if you play pool, that's what you have to do. You have to go overseas. You can't come here and play in a U.S. Open, expect to make money there, or Derby City, or make money there. You know, when Efren goes to Derby City or Bustamante, I mean, they're getting backed 100%. They wouldn't pay to go and play in that and all expenses. It's ridiculous. So to ask them to go play in a local event, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's not even, you know, where they're going to stay, how they're going to get there. I mean, there's so much involved with going, traveling to these events that, you know, you have to have backer, you have to have a place to stay, you have to have somebody to drive you around, and all those people have to get part of that money, and there's just nothing there. There is no money there. So I don't know where we're going with the pool, but I don't see how anybody in America can make a living playing pool. I don't see it. And I can't think of one person that would be a representative for a major corporation right now, because you could say Shane Van Boeing, but Shane's not really communicative enough, or, you know, he's not really going to be a great spokesman. That wouldn't be a good choice. Then you could say Johnny Archer. Well, you know, I'm not against Johnny Archer, that's for sure. I mean, I think he'd be a good representative, but again, you know, it's a little bit, it's a little tricky because he's you know, he's from the South. They have a little bit different mentality than business-wise. I wouldn't think that, you know, I mean, I'm not sure he would be a great leader in that manner either. We don't really have anybody that understands the importance of having an income. I don't think there's anybody out there that really cares whether a pool player has a steady income or not. they want to watch these money matches or exhibition matches. I mean, I know Shane played a lot of exhibition matches or money matches, but I mean, catching on to a corporate sponsor means something, not, you know, and bringing the potential of bringing pool to a professional status. That to me is important, not really winning a tournament that, you know, you're lucky if you're getting paid or not. I mean, you win the US Open and you're not even sure you're getting paid. I mean, how can you devote to that? That's crazy. And then Derby City, you'll get paid, but there's nothing there. You're up all night, you have to stay away from the family, you can't really hold a job and play at Derby City. I mean, 10 days of foolishness, really, down there. And, you know, this is not the way to make a living. It's not the way to keep a family together either. You're not going to be able to do that. We have to keep our families together and understand, you know, when I see Bustamante and he's playing in an event like he is, I can't think of anybody making a bigger sacrifice than that, because how are you supposed to, you know, take care of your family if you're in New Jersey playing in a state tournament there's nothing there? I mean, it's 1,000 added, and yeah, he'll probably win it, but he's going to have to split up all that. You know, he might not even be $1,000 for first place. I mean, you know, and then he's got to split it with his backer or with Jeff, who he's staying with, you know, and pay Jeff something of all of that money, and there's just nothing there. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, he's got a couple of events coming up. He's got an event that Make It Happen, so he's staying here for that. But I'm thinking about all that time away from the kids and the wife, and I'm thinking to myself, that is a sacrifice I would never even consider making. Yet, if you're Filipino, they're used to it. They're used to it. What I really like about Santos as being one of the real leaders of the pack, in my opinion, is that he was able to come here, spend a lot of time away from his family. He spent years away from his family to create some kind of possibility that someday he would bring his family here, send his kids to school, and have a legitimate life other than a Filipino pool player. And he deserves a tremendous amount of credit because that's exactly what's happening. He's brought his kids over, they're both in school, they're both working. It's really, and his wife's here now, and it's just tremendous. So when I think of John Schmidt playing it for $1,000, all I can think about is how much John Schmidt's backer is got to lose, because there's no way he's walking away winning on a pool table with Santos. A lot of people don't even understand the quality of player Santos is, but he's far superior than the American players. This is what he does his whole life. And all of a sudden, you're going to play him in pool for money, and you're not bred that way. Americans aren't bred that way. We're bred to go to school, get a job, and also we're under law to support the family. And in the Philippines, they're not. They don't have to, but here you do. You're going to get divorced, you're going to get sued, and you could see all of the you know, American players. There's very few that stay, there isn't any that stay married, actually. Zero. Any girl that takes on a pool player with kids, maybe I'm missing something, but that's not a good choice. Now, if pool had an established league and you had a steady income, I would say, yeah, that makes sense. But if you really want to live in an educated area for your children in the school system, you're going to need to buy a house in that area, and you're going to need to get a loan from the bank. And if you don't have a steady income, that's not going to happen. So, I mean, you can buy a house, and you can be creative with your financing. I mean, if you want to live in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, you can buy a house there for $20,000, $25,000, and rent for $275 a month. But that's where you got to live. That's not where you want your children, if you have any. You have to be in an educated area. And if you're in an educated area, homes are expensive. You're in the $500,000 and up. And then how are you going to get that money to get into that house? Well, you say, well, I got $200,000, I can put that as a down payment. They'll certainly give me a mortgage if I put down $200,000. Well, they won't, because you don't have a steady income. You might have $200,000 right in your pocket. The problem is that's where it ends. The only way you're going to get any more money is if you win these tournaments, which aren't guaranteed. And the bank don't give up money and loan it unless they're guaranteed to get it back with interest. And they, you know, this is especially true now after the housing crisis. So this is the reason a league is needed as well. It gives a chance for an income. That's why the NBA, the NHL, all make sense, because they're all on salary. They're out there killing themselves on salary. The pool players are killing themselves on actually getting nothing. And it's actually, you know, what Bustamante needs a backer. He's probably the top 3 greatest player Hughes in history. If he can't afford to play on his, you know, on his own dime, because there's no guarantee for him making money, that's why he wants a backer. I mean, it's a clear sign that this doesn't work. How can it work for the average Joe? So I'm completely out of the pool scene because of it. And then when I see a world championship and it's going to be played in a pool room, and I'm thinking to myself, huh? World championship pool room? And I don't get it. I don't get how that makes any sense. If you come from China, you have to go to New York, and you're not going to the hotel or the convention center where the hotel's connected to where you have the event, or a casino where it has the rooms. You have to go to a pool room where you're not going to be able to get to your room and your clothes and your everything that you need access to. You might want to change after your match and not have to get a cab and run to some hotel, some dreary hotel that's going to cost you $250 a night and go through a heartache. I mean, it's absurd. It's such a disappointment when you hear that a major event's going to be held in a pool room. That's completely going backwards. We can't have these players going to a pool room and no place to stay. How did they get there? What are they supposed to do, rent a car? They don't even speak the language. I mean, it doesn't make sense. The whole stupid thing. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with the whole mentality of what these guys are thinking about. And then we hear these people that don't even, you know, understand the importance of a league or a steady income. It doesn't make any sense what they're doing. I'm looking at these tournaments and I'm thinking the Joss Tour, and I'm thinking Mike Zuglin, you're paying him to join, or Tony Robles, you're paying him to join to play in a tournament that you can't make any money, that they're the only ones making any money. There's no way there's any income there. And I'm thinking to myself, I did that, and I'm looking back at it, I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe how stupid I was. I can't believe the stupidity of the whole thing. It's completely useless to somebody that's trying to make a living playing pool, or that has a family and stuff. How are you supposed to, I don't get it. I don't know what they're thinking or even what their goals are or their intentions are. I know one thing, that if you're planning on getting married and having children, it better not be surrounded by playing pool. Because all that you're going to have in front of you is serious heartache and frustration of the highest level. And it's going to break, it breaks everything and everybody down. It doesn't matter how well you do, because eventually you're not going to do well. And when you do well, it's not good enough to survive off of. There's just no way. And you know, it's really important to be a part of Social Security system and unemployment compensation and disability insurance and health care. If you don't have any of that stuff going for you, or a retirement plan, that's going to be a tough life when you get older. You're going to be in my situation. Luckily, I have Social Security, where I only lucked out because I quit pool and worked. For those that haven't quit pool and they're continuing pursuing and not paying into the Social Security system, well, when you get older and you can't win those tournaments, you're not going to have any income. And you're not going to live too long, and you're not going to want to be alive because you're going to be too unhealthy with no health coverage, inability to make any money, and not have Social Security at the least Social Security or disability or something of an income coming in. You'd be a complete goner. You won't live a very long life. And that's the other importance of the league and having a steady income. And if the guys don't get their act together and start focusing on league play and not on whether it's what game to play, the game being played is completely irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. The bottom line is you need an income. The game needs to be brought to professional status. It needs to be in the American market so that the companies in the United States can get involved with the sport and somehow invest. And I don't see any of that. I just don't see any of it. It's really disturbing. I'm watching another live stream yesterday that Slow Moholic is doing. And he's got two screens up. He's got ads running and he's got his name and everything up there. And it's like, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, this is as stupid a stream as I've ever seen. It is completely unwatchable. Nobody's telling the guy how poor the picture, it's so, you look at it and you scratch your head and say to yourself, does this guy have any idea how poor this stream looks? Does he have any idea that the picture is so bad because of all of the baloney, the graphics that he has included, that you can't see any of the match at all? It's just terrible. And that's somebody that follows all our streams and everything. And it's a nice event going on down there on a small table in Texas, but it's unwatchable, the stream. And then the other stream in New Jersey is a good stream quality. The commentary's good, but the play is bad. The players are poor. You have Bustamante there, and you have maybe one or two other pretty good players, but in general, it's a low-class operation going on over there in the New Jersey state. Sorry to say, but that's just, there's nothing appealing going on there, and you're watching these guys warming up that aren't even on the table, and they get out there and they look so awful. Not dressed nice, they can't play nice, they shouldn't even be on there. It's tough because Sandman does an excellent job, and I like his commentary. I feel bad that they say bad things about him in chat. because he does do a good job commentary, and he's getting guests in, and he's trying to make the best of what he's got there. But I got to tell you, it's not that appealing. It's not something I would go running to do, and I'm sure not many wouldn't even consider. You know, a $1,000 added event, when you got to travel to it, and hotel and transportation and stuff, that's tough action. That's really tough action. It's not worth it. Now, 1,000 added for a local, just for local players, is great. But when you're, you know, if you have to travel to it, it's not sensible. A turning stone makes no sense. I don't get, you know, 25,000 added. I mean, the casino should be adding at least 100 to 150,000. If Manny Pacquiao can add 150,000 and he doesn't get anything back, you know, how do you support a casino only giving 25,000 and you're paying everything at the hotel, food, just everything. It's so expensive that there really isn't much there. It's always 8,000 for first and so forth and so on. But if you don't come in first, second, or third, you're not making any money. And most of the guys that win are getting backed and have to split it, or they aren't paying their 401. They're not paying their taxes. Their 1099 forms are going to come, and they're going to ignore it because they don't think that it's important to pay, when they'll realize that if they don't pay those taxes on that money, that money will incur interest for each day that it is not paid. And by the time that they think that they're established here in this country or their other country, the U.S. government will eventually step up and say, you know something, now you owe us enough so that we can put a lien on your property or on any income or any item that you own. And that's what they'll wait for. So if you want to skip paying your taxes, and that's what a lot of guys are doing because they don't have a clue about income and stuff or accounting, there is big penalties at the end of the tunnel. Ralph Soke tried to escape 1099 forms and pay taxes for many years. That's part of the story people don't know about. A guy like Ralph Soke, who had a very serious tax issue, about to lose everything, and did lose his first marriage, his second marriage, had a child in one of them, and I don't want to get into all the personal things, but it's, I mean, these are the experiences that I know about that aren't out there. Most people don't know about, wouldn't have a clue about, and this is what's at stake. You know, when you see Bustamante coming here and taking the money and leaving the country with it, this isn't good for us. And when we see a player like Mika Immonen, you know, living here, but then representing Finland in 100% manner, how is that supposed to be good for us in the American market and jobs and stuff? Same with Appleton. Same with Thurston Holman. If these guys really are so strong about their country, then go there and support your country. Don't come here to hurt our country and then go invest overseas. That's ridiculous. This is what the whole business of the American market. You know, Mark Griffin bringing players in to play exhibitions from outside the country. How is that smart business sense? Who in the world does stupid things like that? Waste all that money bringing them here. Nobody's interested in helping the Chinese market. We're interested in trying to get the American American players to stay with the game, American companies to be involved. And all you see out there is the Predator Tour, the Mez Tour. I mean, those are not American products. Those are not American companies. They're not putting jobs on the table for American players. It's just ridiculous. One of the things about OB, at least it's American made, Dominiac Custom Cues, who does the 8-splice shaft. Now I'm playing with a Lucasi, but I had many Dominiac cues that I sold, and I don't have anymore. I certainly will be back getting a cue once the season's up. But he's under contract with me, under sponsorship, and it's a yearly thing, and he's been with me from the beginning. I ended up with no cue and ended up going with the Lucasi, because the Lucasi is similar to the Dominiac. It's built with an 8-splice shaft, Kamui tip, and it's exactly what I was using prior, basically. But Lucasi is doing a very good job, actually, and Predator works in the factory that is owned by Lucasi. Predator's actually a weaker product than Lucasi. But having said that, that's the Chinese market, and we can't be supporting that market without, you know, it just doesn't give us jobs, it doesn't give us income, and that money leaves the industry anytime we do that. Now this cue, obviously, I didn't pay the cost of this cue. This cue is a $1,300 cue. It's probably one of the most expensive Lucasi's makes. It's a limited edition. LHF 56 is the model. And it's pretty high technology, and that's the real trick to it all, is the new technology. As far as playing wise, I don't think there's many cues out there that play at the quality of the Lucasi. If you get one of those fusion hybrid shafts with the ferrule and the tip, with the taper, and I like the Unilock very much. Unilock is far superior than Radial ever dreamed of being. The Radials are horrible now, and 3/8-10 is still a good joint. So is the 5/16-14, but the 14, 15, 16 thread, there's nothing 3/8-11, but I feel that the Unilock is the most evenly threaded joint, and it feels the best to me. The connection is really good, and the hit is exceptional. And I actually will be recommending Dominiac to get away from the radial pin, which I believe he's going to do anyhow, and he wants to go to a 3/8-10. Now, mind you, if you're in the business, Radial and Unilock are a little bit more money, a lot more money, than a 3/8-10 pin or a 3/8-11 or 14, 15, 16. All of those threads are cheaper. Unilock is your most expensive joint, and Radial are considered custom pins. The Radial pin has lost integrity the last couple of years because the volume has gone up and their quality has gone down. So now I believe that the Unilock really is the best pin at this point, as well as a quick release that Mez uses and Peach Hour. I think those are your best fitting joints right now. As far as playability wise, I don't think you're going to get better playing cues than Lucasi actually right now, and Predator, and all of the cues that you see the top players using right now for playing. Yet if you go and watch a Japanese Open like they have here, going on now, you see all these fancy cues full of ivory, which is interesting because they're great, great players over there. But I just think that the market now has gone more technology, less into the ivory, less into the expensive cues, and I think that the exotic cue market is pretty much coming to an end. But I could be wrong, but I'm not in that market anymore. Although I have a brand new Southwest Franklin that's been refinished that I'm selling. And I do have playing gloves that I have bought from Colombia, South America, who custom made some gloves for Hard Times in California. Hard Times refused the order, and I took the order. So I have about 20 gloves with Hard Times logo on them, but they're really, really nice. And these are the ones that I use. And the Hard Time logo is in red. It says Hard Times, and it's got one with a smile, one with a frown, and it's engraved as with these pictures. And then it has a padding on the back, so it's really, really nice. Really can enjoy it. And it's lasts a pretty good time too, as well. Yeah, I mean the Moscone Cup's coming up, but I don't think anybody really cares. In all honesty, I mean, who's actually going to the Moscone Cup from here? From the United States. And even if you were going, how do you get tickets? Even if you wanted to go, how are you going to get tickets? You know? I mean, I don't get that whole arrangement and everything, but the Moscone Cup, I don't think is a big deal right now in the sport world. Right now, the basketball season, the hockey season, we're coming into the middle of football season. Pool's just not going to get any recognition. Moscone Cup will get played, and there won't be one mention of it in any sporting channel in the United States. There won't even be one channel in the United States that will care about that Moscone Cup, and that's what needs to change. We can't have that. Pool needs to get on the map, and it's not going to get on the map if nobody hears about it or even cares about it. There should have been an X amount of tickets for the American players. I'm sure there were, or maybe I'm not sure there were, but it's certainly not American market oriented. That's for sure. Anyhow, let's not forget Tuesday, November 4th, is the election day, and it's certainly going to be big here in Massachusetts because that's when the casino law will be voted on, and if it goes through, like it will, we're going to see Steve win with a $1 billion building plus being built here in the city of Boston with Penn Gaming over at the racetrack. Already got their license. Only thing that can happen now is them take it away November 4th. And MGM also in the middle of the state has a casino license there. So we are in big action. These are big players in the casino world, and we'll definitely be visiting them with pool events, and hopefully they'll get involved and buy tables and put them in their establishments. And that's what we need for starters. And once they do it, then everybody else across the country, the casinos, can start putting these pool tables in, and we can start getting involved with having events at these casinos on a steady basis without the tables going in and out and having to pay for that stupid expense, like they do up at Turning Stone every 6 months. I mean, if Turning Stone really wants to make a commitment to the players, then they'll start buying those tables and stop costing everybody so much money for taking them in and out. Because who do you think's paying for the tables to go in and out? It's the players, who have to pay full price for everything when they shouldn't have to. And that's to cover their expenses that incur during that Turning Stone event that is totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. But a lot of that money gets blown out the window. And that happens down at Derby City and Reno, all the events actually. The same stupid situations, terrible business deals, too much wasted money and not enough money going towards the players. Players should be invited in these majors. They shouldn't have to pay an entry fee and be stuck with these high casino hotel costs. That's ridiculous. The hotel needs to step it up, especially when they're buying everything at the hotel, gambling there, eating there, everything, and they don't need to stick at a high price with the hotel room too. I mean, it's absurd. For those that remember the Reno Open in the days that I used to go there twice a year, they used to have the tables right there to be put in, and the hotel cost was $19 on the weekend and $11 during the weekday. Well, everybody could afford that. You didn't even need a roommate. And then not only that, you know, you get picked up at the airport, delivered to the hotel. It's $11 a night. You get a great view. You get all the amenities. And the entry fee was $100. Double elimination, race to 9, and they added $25,000. Well, that was a wonderful event. That's what Turning Stone should be. It shouldn't be $125 a night. It should be $10, especially for the players. You know, but because those tables are going in and out, the players have to pay that 30,000 of employees that are schlepping these tables in and out. It's unbelievable. But the players don't have any business sense, and they think it's a good deal, and they can't wait to join that event. Most of the people that can't wait to join that event, of course, can't play pool on a very high level. So Turning Stone's got about 85% of players that aren't really nearly qualified to make a living playing pool. I mean, there might be a handful of players at Turning Stone at the most. I've never played in a Turning Stone event and not cashed. And I've been to I was at the first 8. And I never, ever not cashed up there. It's always been, and I played when it was invited, when the only way you could get in is if you won a Joss event or you came in second. Otherwise, you wasn't even getting invited. Now, you don't even have to have cashed in a Joss event and you can play in it. The U.S. Open also, you had to qualify to play in the U.S. Open. I know I played and qualified in Dayton, Ohio, back before Barry was involved, and qualified to play in the U.S. Open over there, and that's the year that Tommy Jennings beat Dick Lane in the finals there, and I saw Jeannie Belucas beat Gloria Walker in the finals, plus Jeannie played in the men's event. I lost to Mark Belfus, and Steve Miserak's father actually was in the event, and I lost to both them. But the bottom line is, I won one match, but this is many, many moons ago. But the qualifier that I won, I had to beat Larry Lascotti, and I beat Freddie Reeder, I believe, twice in the finals, and Tommy Reed I went out there with, him and his father, Dick Reed, great billiard player, and we went out there and it was just us from the New England area, and I know that they're not around anymore, but they were really outstanding in their day. But to have won a qualifier was extremely difficult. And that's the way the U.S. Open should be. Now, if you cash, all that money's yours, and you know your expenses are paid. You know, it's just you know, you win your qualifier. That's a real U.S. Open. But now all you need is the money, and you're in. So of course they want to keep the money high and the added money high, because that way you keep out the riffraff of the quality of play at the U.S. Open. But that's just not going to happen. The U.S. Open's a joke now. It's terrible when you don't know if you're getting paid or not, because the promoter is untrustworthy. You know, and nobody should have to go through that. Nobody minds waiting to get paid if you're waiting on money you know is coming from somebody trustworthy. Where the problem is the waiting isn't the issue. It's the waiting to get paid from somebody that doesn't pay and isn't trustworthy. That's where the issue is. And that's why it's not, Barry can't be involved. He doesn't have the credibility and the integrity to be involved, and hasn't for many years. But if people want to keep falling into that, good luck to them. But I'm not around that anymore. I separated myself from a lot of the ugliness in pool. When I think of going to the days I went to New Bedford and Rhode Island, and the amount of danger that I had myself in so many different occasions in those two places, with those two owners who were incredibly envy and jealous. And I remember going to New Bedford and having to spot Nelson Oliveira 3-4 games on the wire that Mike X was backing him. And I had to play him on the front table that he played on every single day, 24/7, that I never played on. And I would have to go there and spot him 3-4 games and beg them to play. I used to have to beg them to play me for money, and money matches, or any kind of match. I would have played for anything, because it was like a 2-hour drive for me. So when I went there, I was intending on playing, because there was a lot of activity down in New Bedford, and I used to get on there, and I knew I was better than everybody, because they didn't have. They were okay players, similar to Rhode Island. I knew I was better than everybody down there too, because I had more knowledge and experience in all aspects of all the games, and they didn't. They didn't play a lot of one pocket. They didn't play any billiards. So I knew I had a big edge playing them, and that's why I drove 2 hours to go there, and that's why I went to Rhode Island when I went to Rhode Island. But the owners were very, you know, protective of their players and didn't want to see them go down or any of that nature, and they made my life miserable. I mean, I never met more hateful people than in Rhode Island, in New Bedford. They were definitely the lowest class people I've ever met in my life, as far as their anger, their disrespect, their just their whole demeanor. If you ever go watch the people that walk into snookers and look at their dress and their body language, and when they open their mouths, and their threatening behaviors, when they miss, the venom on them is just, it's such at a high level that it's really not even about pool anymore. It's about, Jesus, how do I get away from this you know, stuff? You know, and it's really, New Bedford was incredible hatefulness there. I mean, everybody that went there had been to prison. Even Rhode Island, I mean, Steve Tavernier, clean-cut guy, always had a good job, but, you know, jail. Fernandez, jail. All of the guys, actually, in New Bedford, you can't name a person that didn't go to jail that was in that pool room building. Whether you were in the bakery business or whatever, you were involved with something illegal, and you went to jail. There was just a lot of bad activity. And in Rhode Island, you have still that mentality, that gangster. It ain't even a gangster. Gangsters, they make money and they don't do harm to innocent people. But these people in Rhode Island and New Bedford, they have a different mentality. They think they're tough. They do things in their way that isn't very kosher, and you can get in a lot of trouble being in those places, whether it be going to jail or getting hurt physically or having damage done to you emotionally. It's very, very terrible, terrible environments, and it's certainly not a place I want to see pool displayed at all. And that's why when you see Mike DeShane playing and he misses, you see the venom, the hatefulness, and the anger in his body language, and that's brought on by his environment. You become a product of your environment. And when I think about that New England Hall of Fame, and it's so disrespectful that the people that are in there first, before anybody, was the guys that own the pool rooms, the guys running the New England Hall of Fame, so that the players that really are New England Hall of Famers will never get recognized in that. And it's a shame, because they'll get melded in with these Steve Gouldings and Tommy McGonigal and Mike X and Ray Mack and you know, a guy like Larry Lascotti to be in the same boat with them is absurd. You know, a Boston Shorty, you know, but that's not really a New England Hall of Fame. They need to change that to something of a recognition award to people that have a credibility of keeping pool alive in New England, maybe, or something like that. But it just makes no sense what they're doing there. I remember when it started out and all of the stupidness behind it. McGonigal, he was like the first person in with Ray Mack and Mike X, and it was like, what? You know, you was just scratching your head when you were seeing these nominations and thinking, what are they, who are these people anyhow? How did they get there? What did they do to get there? How did they, you know, it's just unbelievable. If you opened up a pool room, you're in the New England Hall of Fame. That's like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have anything to do with pool, that's for sure. But anyhow, I was put in that stupid thing, and I basically wasn't thrilled about it at all, because if anybody should have been in there from Jump Street, it would have been somebody like me and Larry Lascotti and Shorty and other people that have high credentials by being on the World Championship team for the United States is as high a credential as you can get. And also finishing in the top 10 in the pro majors is also high credentials. Not necessarily having to win professional events, because let's face it, you can't have a normal life and give up you know, your family to just play pool. I mean, Mike DeShane might play good pool, but follow him home at night and see if you want to live like that. You know, I couldn't sacrifice that. Could I have won a U.S. Open? Could I have won a World Championship? Maybe. Maybe, if I was willing to sacrifice everything, you know, that where I'm at now. But would I have this house? Would I have my life that I have now? Would I be married happily if I did that? Definitely not. I would not trade where I'm at, know-how, with any pool player out there. It's not even close. So I look at it as not being the best pool player. I'm looking at it as being a successful pool player, because that's what matters to me. Not being the best in playing pool, but being the most successful, so that I can spend time at home when I'm needed, and also have good guidance for others that may be making the mistake of doing similar to what you see Bustamante doing. Bustamante's here, and his family's in the other part of the planet. That's very dangerous stuff if you want to keep your marriage together, unless you're Filipino and they understand that's okay. Try that in America, and that ain't okay all of a sudden. So that's why Shane Van Boeing, Mika Immonen, Thurston Holman, Hunter Lombardo, they're all single. They're not obligated to have to be home, take care of the children. They're not committed to doing that. They're committed to pool. That's what's important to them. That's why they're the best in pool. But off the table, do you want to live that life? Do you want to go home and be at an empty four walls and celebrate with yourself? I mean, you could celebrate at the bar rooms and the lounges all you want. The bottom line, eventually you have to go home and look at the four walls. And what are you going to do, celebrate with yourself? Because that's what they're doing. You know, and if you're not in a relationship, then you've elected to go down this road. This is what's important to you, looking good in the bar room late at night and not really being home taking care of business at the house, because they may not have a house that they need to take business care of. They're probably in a different situation. And that's the commitment it takes to be successful in pool. I used to lose to Larry Lascotti sometimes, and after I'd lose, I'd say, well, you won in the game of pool, but I'm going to win in the game of life. I'm going home. Because Larry spent a lot of time away from home. And having children and a wife, I know because my dad did that to my family. I can't even tell you how hurtful that is, that lifestyle. It's unbelievable. But that's the choices that you make. You have to make smart choices in your life. You can't choose to take on pool and think that you're going to be supportive towards a family emotionally and with your time. Because now your time is dictated. It's like you think you're going to run your own business. The business runs you. And when you're playing pool, you go wherever it is. It's the only game in town, then you got to go there. And that's what a pool player can't make a living, because there's nothing to hold on to. You never know where you're going to be and how long you're going to be gone. And if somebody gets sick when you're gone, or any of those things, you're not going to be available. And you can't traggle your wife along to these tournaments and your kids. You do that, and you're going to lose everything. You don't do that. You don't bring your spouse to work, let's put it that way. Can you imagine going to work and you have to take your spouse with you? When I see a pool player and he's got a relationship, whether it be female or male, and they have that spouse hanging around rooting for the other one to do well in pool, all I can think about is this isn't going to last. I guarantee it. There isn't one relationship that I can ever remember other than Jimmy Rempe that was able to take their wife to the tournaments and survive that relationship. Rempe was the only one, but I remember telling Jimmy, you know, Jimmy, tell your wife to stay home. Don't put her through this anymore. She would come with the dog, and it was really nice, but I actually had that conversation with him, and when I did, I didn't see his wife that often afterwards. I got to be honest with you, because you can't have your wife around that environment. It's just like, you know, if you're going to do any job, you wouldn't want your spouse there. You're going to see you in a bad mood, and how you treat others, and how you are going to not be able to pay any attention to them. Why would you want to bring them there when you couldn't pay any attention to them anyhow? You have to pay attention to your job. You're not going to be able to do that with your spouse there. So, you know, and when you're young, you don't know any of this. It don't matter to you. But when you get a little bit mature in age, and your knowledge comes from that, you know. Oh, wow. Heidi Rohr bought Fashion Shark? Oh, Barcelona. Oh man, there's two horses I liked that this fellow owned. Thanks for that update. Both of those horses got purchased. It's unbelievable. And they probably made a steal on both of them. But anyhow, I'm more into looking at horses to buy than cue sticks, because the cost of cue sticks are the cost of a racehorse. Well, you can make some money with the racehorse maybe and get lucky. But you're not going to make a whole lot of money in the exotic cue field now, because the new technology is moving towards inexpensive, more efficient and effective materials, rather than using the ivory and all of this silliness. To have to kill animals to get ivory is stupid anyhow, so I hope it does change. Now today, the New Jersey State Championship is being played. Don't forget to enjoy that. Sandman is doing a live stream. It's very, very good. And he's doing commentary, which is very, very good. Also, a Slow-Mo-holic is doing a stream down in Texas. I don't like that one, but you can enjoy that one too. It's good to support him. He's been a part of the streaming for a while, but I don't know. There's some streamers out there I just don't really like, and then there's others that I do. I mean, I don't like watching the commentary. Sometimes is good, but POV. I mean, Danny's always looking for problems. He gets in the middle. It's like having a third guy in. If two guys are having a conversation, he'll stick his nose in and he'll create from a conversation. All of a sudden you have this argument and you have this hostility and personal attacks going on. And Danny's really, he's not too cool. I really don't like where he's at mentally, and his stream usually isn't too good, but sometimes he has good commentary when the box is on and he has somebody with intelligence at the mic. That does happen, and also there's good players over there on the Mez Tour, but I really, I've never enjoyed his stream. I've never enjoyed the people that follow his stream. He always gets in talks poorly about myself, so I really don't have much good to say about him either, actually. He's not a Herman University fan, and I'm not a POV fan, and I never will be a POV fan, actually, which really hurts the Mez Tour, in my opinion, is because I don't see why they don't learn how to do their own stream and, you know, and promote themselves, because once you put Danny in there, you're not going to help yourself at all. So the Mez Tour ain't going nowhere. As long as they don't learn how to stream, I don't see any possible growth there. What's going to happen there is eventually, you know, Danny's going to want to make some money, and he's going to use that tour to make money for himself, which he should. If that's the, you know, that's what he's not there to do it for nothing. He's there to make money. So he's going to continue to ask for donations, and he's not going to get any sponsors, because very few people want to deal with that kind of mentality. He's always looking for trouble. I remember two guys were playing, and he couldn't wait to put the camera over there when they were arguing. He says, oh, well, let's get into, you know, let's see what's going on here. And he kind of wanted to create even more friction than there already was. And I was like, what? But anyhow, I don't want to waste any time on negativity. Wasted enough time today on it. But yeah, I've been watching the Japanese event, and it's been great. All right, I want to get to something that just came to my attention, and I will get to it. Um, yeah. All right, I have to call it a day. It's 11 o'clock. I don't know if that is exactly um, the correct time. I would hope so. Because as we know, we had to drop back um, the um, the clock last night. So I'm hoping that it's 11 o'clock. But it could be 10 o'clock. That's how much, I don't even know right now. But anyhow, have a nice day, and we'll see you probably tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Enjoy the day.